Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. This lovely day. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mabel, and yeah, welcome. If it's your first time seeing this face, kindly do so. Consider subscribing. It's free, and you also support my channel. And let's be friends. If you're a returning, I love you and I appreciate you. So, guys, um, in this video today, it's a pickup of where we'd left on motherhood shenanigans. And in today's video, I want to talk about some of the common mistakes. I personally, um, I personally did that when I was super fresh mom, and I'm likely maybe I'm almost certain sure you could maybe go through the same, or you know someone who could go through the same. And these mistakes are the mistakes that we don't even see them coming. They're as petty as you can think of. Yeah, so let's get into it. The very first one is underfeeding. When your baby is super young, like the first few weeks, they can't take a lot of milk. They're not able to take a lot of milk. So you're likely to assume that the baby is full, and sometimes you may find that your baby is not full yet. Yeah, so you might not really tell if the baby is full or not, apart from assumption of maybe like burping, things like those. That's the first mistake that I personally think I did. The second one is overfeeding. Now, I think we are all, if you've been a first-time mom, I'm sure you overfed your baby, not once, not twice. Each time your baby burps and they kind of throw out some extra milk, that is a clear indication that the baby has been overfed. And it's not also easy to tell if the baby is overfed or not, because for the first 6 months, the baby is likely to only be on milk. That's if you decide to be breastfeeding exclusively. The baby will be on breast milk for 6 months. So that's like their main meal 247. So most of the time you might find yourself overfeeding them, especially when they cry. I remember when my baby was little, everyone will tell me whenever the baby cries, you're supposed to breastfeed her. She could be hungry, things like that. To calm her down, you are likely to over breastfeed your baby, which leads to overfeeding, which leads to to throwing up milk. And the first time my baby actually did that, alitoa maziwa mingi, and I really panicked. I didn't know that was overfeeding. And now after that, I started like portioning for her the feeding part, which now is likely to lead to underfeeding. The third thing that you might do, which might not be common, but in my case, I want to put a disclaimer first of all that whatever I experience might not be the same thing that you might experience. Yeah, so it's a give or take in the sense that you might experience this if you're expectant, or if you already have a baby, you might relate to this. And if you don't have a baby yet, you might maybe meet someone who is expectant, and maybe it's your friend or your relative, and you can maybe share this with them. The other thing I did was overdressing my baby, overwarming. I got my baby during the cold season, and it was so chilly and cold. It was so cold, so you could stay on the heater like all the time, keeping her super warm, and she could even get some like rashes. That's her on the background actually. Yeah, so she could like get some heat rash because of overwhelming. I was so scared that maybe we could catch cold, especially during that cold season, and I overwhelmed her, and it could even make her so uncomfortable to maybe sometimes sleep at night. She could cry, and it wasn't easy for me to like undress her and and put her on some light clothes because I always had a fear that she could catch cold. So I think it's best to dress your baby in a warm way, but not like maybe I did, because I bought so many rompers. Some are oversized, some she never even used because they were just like too much. I was so scared of the cold. So you could maybe regulate, because being too warm or too cold is likely to affect your baby's sleep. That's the third thing. The other thing, the fourth thing, is not remembering to change your baby's diaper on time. This happened to me when I was in the hospital. Like I think the first second day after delivery, my baby would cry like that particular day. For me to realize that was a delay of diaper, she started crying, and she cried for such a long time, like, and I couldn't figure out. I was just like shh the whole time for like almost 15 to 20 minutes, and I couldn't figure out that it was a diaper change. So when the nurse came and she took the baby and asked me if I changed the diaper, I really didn't think that was the issue. So the nurse took the baby and went and changed the diaper. And when she came back with the baby, it was so easy for the baby to sleep. I just breastfed her and she like slept immediately. So meaning the issue was, not changing the diaper on time. And if you are a first-time mom, you're likely to forget this because it's not something you're used to. It's not something like you're not conditioned to changing a diaper. You're not conditioned to having a baby, so you're likely to miss that. So it's one of those things that we might think it's automatic, and it's not. Your baby might overstay with diaper and even get a diaper rash. So it's better to keep changing, your baby's diaper as often as you can, especially when they're super young. That is the fourth thing. The fifth thing that you are likely to do is not knowing if your baby is overtired or not. Overtiredness in babies is simply how should I put this? It actually took me a hard it took me sometimes to really figure out that babies are supposed to sleep in a certain span of time, maybe after 30 minutes, after 1 hour, after 2 hours, depending on their age. So if your baby goes before their nap time, they're likely to be fussy, they're likely to cry because they are overtired. Their body, especially when they are so little, their body cannot handle over 1 hour of being awake. And when they reach that point of being overtired, they are not going to sleep now at all. Literally, they're going to stay up, they're going to cry, they're going to be irritated and all that, and you might not know, but it's all because of overtiredness, something we call overtiredness, because the baby is past their sleep time. So you should always have a routine, maybe around from, it depends with you as a person, but it's better maybe to start from around 5 months, 6 months there, because by that time your baby is a bit of in schedule, and like when they are super young, so that you won't have a hard time with an overtired baby, because it's super hard to put an overtired baby to sleep. You'll be so agitated, you'll be so stressed up and frustrated. I personally struggled with that before I got to learn that it's overtiredness, because hey, you guys, it's crazy. Like the baby will stay up like even the whole night. it can be as crazy as that, especially when they are super young. Yeah, so it's good to know their schedule, to know how much their wake window, basically their wake window, how much time is 1 month old, 2 months, 3 months, your baby's milestone as you track it. You're also supposed to know their wake window, how much time, how much can they like be awake. Are they supposed to sleep after 2 hours, after 3 hours, after 1 hour? So you're able to read your baby and put them to sleep on time to avoid overtiredness. Also, look out for them yawning, things like rubbing their eyes is a sure sign that that baby is supposed to be asleep. Yeah, so those are 5 main things that I personally struggled with as a new mom, not knowing how to handle it, or even not finding it as a big deal in the beginning, but it actually is something that should be taken note of. Yeah, but I'm sure there are so many other things that as a new mom you might you're likely to do wrong, which is allowed because there's no like manual for motherhood. It's a 1 2 day 3 day literally a lifetime journey. So you always learn through it as you grow, and even as your baby grows, you through the phases of transitioning from just an infant to toddler and all that. Yeah, so guys, in this video, that is all I wanted to share. This is a continuation of the series, 2 mini series I had mentioned on motherhood shenanigans that I'll be sharing. And this is, can I say episode 2? I think so. Yeah, so that is it for this video. I'm glad you watched to the end of it. Until next time, see you. Have a nice time. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do consider subscribing. It's absolutely free. There's no charges to it. So I'll give you a minute to do that. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Have a nice time. Ciao. Bye bye.